what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the Flood, but they were too late. The Flood overwhelmed this cruiser and saved it. The Covenant are terrified the Flood will repair the ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the Flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a good lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive, and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. I'll bring us in as close as I can. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
Don't be a fool. Leave me.
Captain? Captain? I've lost him.
What's up guys, Hokiebird here, bringing you the Noob's Guide to Legendary for the 9th mission in the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary campaign, Keys. So, walk over here, get the grunts and the combat forms to start fighting. You might need to make some noise by firing a couple shots. But you want to look for the combat form that has the shotgun. And then of course pick up the shotgun to replace the assault rifle. You can then mop up everything with the plasma pistol. I highly recommend not using the shotgun at all, because you want to conserve its ammo until you find more.
Analyzing damage. This hole was caused by some kind of explosive. Very powerful if it tore through the ship's hull. All I detect down there are pools of coolant. We should continue our search somewhere else.
You'll need to time it correctly so that the infinitely respawning waves of flood don't appear, but then you can come back here for this active camo. This is why you have the active camo. You can run by all the Flood and the elites, and then hide over here.
Let's get out of here and find another way back aboard the ship.
Now you can completely skip this and just move on, but 1, I don't skip anything, and 2, if you hold out, you can get some more shotgun ammo as well as a pistol. The only thing you have to remember is to let them come to you. If you jump out in the open trying to get to them, they'll mow you down before you get close enough. Here's another area where the Flood and the Covenant will be fighting each other, so I just let them fight. The Flood will always win. And then once the elites are dead, I'll use the pistol to kill the 2 combat forms up on that ledge. And then that'll make enough noise that the rest of the combat forms will come running, so that's when I break out the shotgun. And then I'll move over here, grab this shotgun. A couple combat forms will drop down. I think it's infinite, and then some of them will have shotguns. So I'll just wait for one to have a shotgun, and then I'll move on. Now over here you'll encounter a bunch of combat forms. What you want to do is you want to shotgun the first one, because he'll have a shotgun so that you can pick up the ammo instead of possibly blow it away with a grenade. But then I'll just frag grenade the rest of them. Here you want to watch your motion tracker. As soon as you either see them on your motion tracker or even hear them, just fall back to here, because a bunch of carrier forms are going to drop down and explode. But as long as they're nowhere near you, no problem. You can even mop up the infection forms with the plasma rifle or plasma pistol.
We should head this way, towards the ship's gravity.
Around this corner is going to be an infinitely respawning wave of combat forms, but as long as you just push up to the point where you can see them, they'll stop spawning. Like this is far enough. And then you can move up and then everything behind you will despawn. Here I like to swap out the shotgun for the sniper rifle. And then I'll just let them fight for a while. It's going to be infinitely respawning carrier forms. So what I'll do is I'll usually try to snipe the elites first, but you'll see in a second I almost got killed when I wasn't paying attention, so you might want to snipe the hunters first.
The crash did more damage than I suspected. Analyzing. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactor should already have gone critical.
There's really not much to say here. Just snipe the hunters and snipe the elites, and make sure you save at least one sniper rifle bullet for the next area. You'll know you're done when the carrier forms stop moving around and just stand there. See, just like that. That's how you know all the elites are dead. And when that happens, I'll swap out the pistol for the shotgun. And you want to shoot a couple carriers as you run, so that they don't explode on you. If you take any health damage, there's a health pack right there. But then I'll come over here and swap out the sniper rifle for a plasma rifle. And then don't forget to go back for your sniper rifle before you leave. And here's why we're saving one bullet for the sniper rifle. Snipe this elite out of the shade turret, then as you're running, shotgun the grunts, and then get in the shade turret. Then you can just mow down the flood that all come around the corner. This is another wave of infinitely respawning flood. But the shade turret mows them down pretty good. And then when you feel like there's a lull in the waves, you can hop out and then run over here, and all you have to do is push past that corner enough that you can see the wave standing on the other side, and then you can run back to the shade turret, and then they'll stop spawning. And then what I'll do is I'll swap out my sniper rifle for a pistol, if I can find one. Here you're going to have 3 combat forms that jump up from below. Just use the shotgun. First I'll wait for the flood to finish off all the grunts over there, and then I'll make some kind of noise either with the shotgun or the pistol. They'll come running and I'll mow them down with either the pistol or I'll let them get close and take them out with the shotgun. And then as for the ones up on the ledges, that's why I've got the pistol. Now watch your motion tracker here, and as soon as you see red, run back, and you'll see a whole bunch of carrier forms in this pool of coolant over here. You don't want them to sneak up on you, so just shotgun them and they'll all explode. Then you can either mop up the infection forms with melee, or you can pick up a weapon you find lying on the ground. Plasma rifle is my preferred weapon. You can use whatever.
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still operational. That's our way back in.
Here's another encounter where you'll have Covenant fighting Flood, so I just let them fight. But for this encounter, the Covenant will always win. So what I'll just do is try to stick them up there, or if they jump off, then they're really easy to stick. If you run out of plasma grenades, there's 3 over here by this overshield. And then with the elites down, all you have to do is run up and stand in the grav lift for a few seconds. You should easily be able to hold off the flood with the shotgun and a couple grenades. There's even a health pack here in the grav lift if you need it.
We should be able to get into the ship's control room from here. The Covenant BattleNet is a mess. I can't access the ship's schematics. My records indicate that a shuttle should be here.
Just shotgun all these carriers. Just don't get too close. What I like to do here is try to shoot all the carrier forms down below with the pistol from up here. This will, of course, make noise and attract combat forms.
Look, in the corners. The Flood are gathering bodies here.
Now, you can just jump down, but since I don't skip anything, I'm going to show the long way. You'll find a couple combat forms in here. Weapons will vary. It'll either be assault rifle, plasma pistol, or shotgun. But then, more dangerous than that is going to be these open panels in the ceiling. There's 2 of them. This is one of them. I'll show you the other one when I get to it. But that's going to mean infinitely respawning a flood. You just want to fight the ones in front of you, then run past, and then grenade the ones behind you. Just be careful you don't run into a carrier form like I did. And then when you move into the room, if you mopped up the carriers before, the doors over there will immediately open. If not, once you mop up the carriers, they'll open, and a bunch of combat forms will spawn there. So just toss 2 frag grenades. You should be able to take them all out without any problems. And then over here, there's a health pack if you need it, and an overshield. For this corner, all you have to realize is that there's 2 separate waves. So, fight off the first one with the shotgun and some grenades, and then the second wave will come around that corner over on my right. Plasma grenades are generally a bad idea. I got lucky that time. And then with this hole here, there's going to be 3 carrier forms down there. So that's 1. There's 2. And there's the 3rd one. Now it's safe to jump down. Around the corner, there's going to be a bunch of carrier forms. You can either let them fall over like that, or you can just use a shotgun. You should have plenty of ammo. And then I'll let the Flood and the Covenant fight. Once the Covenant mop up all the Flood, you can pretty easily stick them with plasma grenades. They don't have a lot of room to evade them. And then here's going to be the second open panel in the ceiling that's going to produce infinite waves of Flood. So you just want to shoot them, then grenade them, and then keep running.
Looks like another shuttle bay. We should be able to reach the control room from the 3rd level.
I gave you an order, soldier. Now pull out.
He's delirious! In pain, we have to find him!
Now you might be asking why I'm going this way, since this way goes down, not up. And the reason is because if you don't go in this door, you're going to have a bunch of waves of Covenant coming out behind you on that landing. And it's really, really difficult to survive. So what I do is I come down here first and mop up all these waves of Covenant and Flood. Now here's a little trick. The way that the Halo engine works is that any weapon that you've touched won't ever despawn. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing all those plasma pistols to save them for later. And here I'll just let the Covenant and the Flood fight, same as always. Here the Covenant will always win, so then I'll just mop them up with a couple plasma grenades and the shotgun. And then after they're all dead, I'll turn around and now I'll start going the right way. There's going to be a couple of elites over here. You can either skip them completely or take them out with plasma grenades and the shotgun. More Flood fighting Covenant. You don't really have to do anything. I just supply a couple plasma grenades to ensure that the fight comes out even. Same here, although this time I'm using the plasma pistol to mop up the grunts because my pistol got blown away. Fortunately I found it. I was going to be pissed if I couldn't find it. But same trick as before is that once the grunts are all dead, I'll pick up their plasma pistols so that I can save them for later. You'll see what I mean when it happens. Wow, look where my pistol landed. Oh well, at least I found it. And then for the Flood around this corner, you can either use the pistol or some grenades. They're probably too far away to use the shotgun. And then this is me doing the grab and drop trick to prevent the plasma pistols from despawning later. For this part, I like to use the pistol and 2 frag grenades, and sometimes if I place the frags well enough, I don't even have to use the pistol at all.
The control room should be this way.
There's going to be a second wave of Flood inside these doors. Shotgun and grenades work very well in the confined space. And then this is completely unnecessary, but a lot of times if I can find a plasma pistol, I'll just go over here and elite combo this red elite, so that I don't have to deal with him later.
Please, Chief, hurry!
The Flood will always win here, but I like to try to speed things up a little by firing at the elites and tossing some grenades. Sometimes you may have to provide a little fire to keep the fight going. If you take any health damage, there's a health pack over here. And then once the elites are all down, it's actually not infinite respawning Flood in this doorway. There's a lot of ways of Flood, but it's actually not infinite, so you can just hold this corner until they stop spawning. And then just like before, plasma grenades are probably a bad idea. I got lucky again. And then just move into the room and walk up the ramp to start the cutscene.
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go. We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay and find a ride.
By far, the easiest way to handle this fight is to go over to the door over there where the Covenant are, let the door open and then run away, and then let the Covenant Spec Ops team fight the Flood. The Flood will always win, and then they'll come for you, so don't get too comfortable. See, they're moving back into the room. That's how you can tell all the Covenant Spec Ops have been killed. So when that happens, you know, just take up a position around this pillar for some cover. And then shotgun them and grenade them as they come at you. Unless you used it earlier, which I certainly hope you didn't, there's going to be a health pack by the door in case you take some health damage. And then what I like to do is I'll go back and see if I can find pistol ammo as well as a plasma pistol. You actually don't need the shotgun for the rest of this mission. This part is actually pretty tough. You're going to have two squads of a Spec Ops elite and grunts, one with a fuel rod gun and the rest with needlers on both sides out here. So that's why I put a plasma pistol in here earlier. All I'm doing here is headshotting grunts and then elite comboing the elite. I'll always take out this squad first and then the one on the right. The one on the right is a little harder to take out because you don't have much of a line of sight on them until you move out of the doorway and expose yourself. So there goes the Spec Ops Elite, and there go the grunts. Now then, you can actually skip to the end of the mission here by jumping down to the second level and then down to the Banshee. But I never skip anything, and boy did I regret that here. This is the hardest fight in the game if you choose to fight it.
Perfect. Grab one of the escort Banshees and we'll use it to return to the Pillar of Autumn.
Now, what you can see is 8 minutes left of the video. What you can't see is the 40 minutes of deaths that I had to edit out until I finally made it through. So most of you are going to skip this, and if you're going to fight it, best of luck to you. Alright, so the way I do it is I just come back down here, throw a bunch of grenades. They really can't evade in the confined space, and then dead grunts will drop grenades and that'll set off a big chain reaction, taking most of them out.
More here!
I even got lucky that time and stuck the elite. All the elites from here until the end of the mission are going to be the black Spec Ops elites. And what sets them apart is that they are the only elites in the game that will chuck grenades, and they throw them hard and they throw them very, very accurately. So what I am looking at here is a corner with a black elite spawner on it. It isn't infinite, there's only about 10, but there's 10 that you have to kill. So this is why I stocked up on plasma pistols in these corridors earlier. You're gonna need a lot of them. And now you just elite combo the shit out of them until they're all dead. I use the wall and the box for cover, and I try to get the new one that's coming out before it really gets into position, so that it is less likely to evade the plasma bolt. And you can only imagine how frustrating a situation like this is, where headshots just aren't doing the job. Grenades won't be very effective unless you stick them, because they will evade out of the way. And then if you fall back here, you'll get a checkpoint, but you don't want to do it too soon, or else you'll have a lot of elites to kill with no checkpoint to do so. So I try to do it about halfway through. And that was the easy part. Now you have to take out the ones on the lowest level of the shuttle bay. and they've got a lot more room to maneuver. And no, in case you were wondering, I did not get a checkpoint. So, now you see why I was stockpiling plasma pistols earlier. I just went through 2 of them. This is the 3rd one. And I've got 3 more that I can go back for if I need to. It seems to work better for this part if you stay back on the ledge and then fire the plasma pistol bolt just over the edge, and then it'll curve down. It's like they won't be able to see it coming. At least that's what I think. That seemed to work better than me walking out on the ledge and shooting them. And because I didn't use it when I first entered the shuttle bay, there's actually a health pack over here. So now I'm looking for another plasma pistol. This is why I stockpiled a couple down here as well. And that's the last of them. You can either jump down to the Banshee or you can take the long way. And then you just want to make a break for the Banshee because a squad will spawn right as you're about to get in the Banshee. But fortunately you're invincible once you get in the Banshee. Hop on the Banshee to end the mission.